Hey everybody, welcome back to Prep Talk Live. It's Wednesday night. It's 5:30 on the Pacific Coast in Pacific Time Zone. I'm Casey with Cascadia Dispatch. Joining me as always is Cliff the Urban Prepper. What is up, Tup? How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Yet again, that intro is pretty epic. So it's again one of the more epic intros for in the prepperverse. But
I feel like we got to come in. We got to come in hot with
becoming
this.
hot with it. Yeah,
There's some pretty established brands out here. We got to come in a little new, a little different. We got to have a little something different. Hey, we're on
yeah,
we're doing the TikTok. That's a different thing.
yeah.
We smile. That's a different thing.
There's a lot of
So
a lot of people that aren't into prepping are over on TikTok, and they're into like you can only get their attention for maybe half a second. So it's
yeah,
there are a lot of potential preppers over there.
yeah, exactly. It's fertile ground
Yeah,
for preppers and non-preppers. If
yeah,
you're, Cascadia Dispatch and the non-preppers and Cliff and the urban preppers. So depending on what sort of prepper you're looking for, you can find them on TikTok. Welcome in everybody. We got people coming in. We got people from Okinawa. We've got all
wow,
over the place. Titus is back, or W Titus Tuttle. He's been in our streams a couple of times. Welcome
yep,
back. We've got Doc Michael. We've got a bunch of regulars. I'm seeing some new faces in here. So welcome in everybody. It's officially 2022. Last time we did this, I think it was still 20. Was it 2022 last time we did this?
it was 2020. So today's the 12th. So yeah, so we were in 2022. Yeah,
It's been one of those weeks.
yep.
I think as we don't even know what year it is anymore, but such is life. So welcome in everybody. We are going to start off kind of recapping what we did last week. What are those interesting prep related things that we had going on last week or since last week? I'm going to kick it off. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to let Tup kick it off because,
All right.
That's how we roll.
Well, mine's very lackluster because last I was just before starting the stream, and when you said what kind of questions we're going to be talking about today, I was like, well, what did I actually do for prep wise for me? Because a lot of what I've been doing in the last week is filming videos and doing the editing and doing the audio for it and working on thumbnails. So it's been less prepping for myself and more prepping for upcoming videos for the Kickstart with in January and stuff. So for me in the last week, of course, there's always like behind the scenes stuff like organizing. I have some modules in the garage that I've been reorganizing, trying to move some preps from the garage over to out an external storage unit that we have, but I don't really count that too much. So I guess the primary preps that I've been doing is prepping for the, I guess, season 11 of my channel, I guess, and getting those videos ready to go and getting the queue all set. So I hope that people like some of the
You're prepping to prep.
I'm prepping
on
to
video.
prep videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we were saying, like it's when you prep, it's one thing, it takes a certain amount of time, but when you put it on video, it just makes it like 10 times longer than what it normally does because you have to document and everything. So for a while I've been prepping like for myself. Now it's time to give back to the community and show some of the stuff that's been going on. So
You've been working on your own things, and now it's time to share it and let
yeah,
everybody know
yes,
what are
exactly.
the things they should be doing. And then videotape it in 13 different angles
Yeah,
with audio and
good
all of the clip.
audio and yeah.
I stole the you and Canadian Prepper and City Prepper all have that kind of video footage that you put into your videos.
Stock footage. Yeah.
So we were talking about that the other day. So I've gone up and found that. So the next videos that are going to come out from Cascadia Dispatch will have lots of random stock videos and things like that. Realistically, it'll be related to prepping, but who knows?
Yeah, those videos, it helps like when you're talking about a certain topic, like and you want to have a certain visual to represent it. I didn't use those for so long, and I had to make my own kind of B-roll footage, and then I'm like, oh, I could just download this and pay a certain fee for it. So it's a lot easier to do, and it gets the point across and gives a certain vibe to the topics that you're talking about. So which I think is cool.
It cuts down on the time to actually produce because there's already like you and I are one man shows when it comes to the editing and the production and everything. So when you can take that step out and you don't have to go, shoot the sidewalk and shoot the grass and everything else, you can just have that and just worry about the edit part. It definitely makes it easier to get content out to everybody who's interested in it, which is the goal of all of this.
Well, what did you work on in the last week since the
What
last
did
time we
I
talked?
work? That's a fantastic question, and thanks
Yeah.
for asking. I'm channeling my inner Elise Myers now. That's a wonderful question. I'd be happy to answer it. So the thing that we worked on this last week, as I mentioned, I think a couple weeks ago, we were doing a bunch of financial stuff at the end of the year and kind of getting everything ready. So we kind of started to do a little bit of some insurance review. So just kind of checking up and making sure that like all of the home policies and car policies and umbrellas and earthquake policies and everything, making sure we're still getting the best rates for the best coverage and that all the coverage is there. And as things like real estate prices have gone up and housing prices have gone up and all that sort of stuff, just making sure that everything is fully covered. So in case there was a disaster, we don't end up with the 5 year ago value of a house or of an item or something like that. So we were calling and talking to the insurance agents and getting all of that stuff kind of just squared away, making sure that everything is in a good spot. Because as much as I think a lot of things that we do prepping wise are putting modules together and putting
Yeah.
packs together and putting all that stuff, there's also kind of this paperwork element that I think a lot of people don't always consider as part of the prepping plan. And so that was kind of the thing that we were doing the checkup on over the last week. And it'll go on for a little while because they always, go back and look and cross check with other companies and stuff. But we kind of kicked that process off last week.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes a lot of the prepping topics that get formed are based off of kind of popularity. Like it's hard to have a good kind of clickbaity title for, "Hey, I worked on some paperwork and behind the scenes stuff." So, like it's better. Hey, instead, I did. Here's my bug out bag or something like that. So
Exactly.
that's a lot.
Apocalypse now?
Yeah, it's a
Question
lot
mark,
cooler to have.
exclamation
Yeah,
mark.
it's a lot cooler to have those. But like in the same way, like preparing your health. Like every time you do a video on like, yeah, I'm trying to get preparing my health and my getting better exercise. That's usually like the lowest viewed video of your collection. So, and I think the same with, but I think it's again like what you said, it's like the most, it's important. It's stuff that I need to get better at, and both in health and in ensuring all your ducks are aligned for in the financial realm of things.
Yeah, it's kind of the eating your vegetables sort of a thing. Like it's, everyone would rather eat candy and pizza and, put together 19 different kits and get the latest gear and all that sort of stuff. But in reality, if a lot of the emergencies and disasters that I think we plan for, which we're about to talk about here in a little bit of the ones that we don't
Oh,
plan for, but the ones that we do plan for, I think we imagine that those disasters will be localized, that there'll be something that'll happen here, where we are. It maybe affects our home, it affects our neighborhood, it might affect our whole city, but it's not going to be affecting the globe, and it's maybe not going to affect even the whole country. So once we're kind of out of the immediate danger zone or disaster zone, life will kind of pick up again. And so having a lot of those kind of paperwork things in order so that when you do leave or get evacuated or whatever, you actually are ready to kind of have a life and rebuild, I think are important, but they're not as much fun as sat phones and,
yeah.
canvas tents and all of those sorts of things.
Humongous flashlights like this.
Yeah, exactly. I saw an ad for a tent at Cabela's that weighs 172 pounds or 127 pounds or something.
Wow.
And it had more square foot. The thing was, it's more square footage than some apartments. I was like, that seems like something that will end up on my
Overkill.
wish list
Yeah.
at some point. Yeah. Like that'll end up in my backyard at some point, I'm sure. So anyway, so we've got a bunch of people in the chat. If you haven't already, we've got a bunch of people watching. I can see the numbers climbing on the stream. If you haven't already, hit the like button on whether you're watching on Tup's stream or whether you're watching on Cascadia Dispatch. If you're watching on the other, flip back and forth. Hit the like button on each of them. That helps to push the stream out to more people. It lets YouTube know that they should notify more people, and just ultimately helps get the word out. So if you could go ahead and do that. If you're watching on your phone, you click out of the live chat, you'll get the little thumbs up button, click that, and then you go right back into the live chat icon. So that would be fantastic, and we appreciate that. All right, let's talk about the preps for me. Speaking of sat phones,
is this kind of like, is this the show and tell part of the live
is
stream? I think it's
welcome to Prepper Show and Tell. That's what we should call it.
Yeah, it's, my daughter just had show and tell at school, and she's really worried on what she wants to present. And I felt the same kind of thing today, like trying. Oh, what am I going to have for show and tell today? So
Did she bring like a bump cat and camo, or
no,
like
she
did
she went
she?
full. She had some kind of a Gabby's dollhouse thing or something. So
Now, does Gabby's dollhouse have like a prepper dresser or like the prepper nightstand in it too? Like,
no, it doesn't.
are there
It's
fire extinguishers throughout
Gabby.
the dollhouse?
Well, when that video comes out, I'm hoping that Gabby's dollhouse adapts the nightstand. So
Of course. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first on this one?
I'll go.
All
So
right.
I guess the last video I did, which it wasn't really too prepping specific, but I was on the Terry Silver because I was super into Cobra Kai. But basically, one of the things that I've been upgrading in some of my kits are the knee pads, which aren't they're not that commonly covered in the preparedness world. But I'm into the various knee pads. There's some Black Hawk ones, but these particular ones are the ones that I think are great for having in your vehicle, for your vehicle preps. I've been using these ones are new. I have some older ones, so I'm upgrading, or I'm just getting them some nicer ones for we're working on a car project. But for automobile, for bug out, for evacuation, if there was a big bunch of rubble and stuff, what's really cool about these knee pads compared to other ones, these ones are made by KP Industries. They're the KP Industries Knee Pro. They have basically a hinge on them, so they move just like your knees, your legs normally would with your knees. So you have a hinge on it like this, as you can see, which makes it so when you're actually on the ground, it just feels like normal. You could feel like you could run with these things, and versus some of the ones that are just more of a stationary knee pad. And some people have them in their bug out bags. Some people don't. I have knee pads in the vehicle for roadside assistance type things. I also have like a knee pad thing that I kneel on as well. But these ones are by KP Industries, and I think they're really great. If anyone wants a knee pad, look into the KP Industry ones. I first learned about these over at SHOT Show, and I was running around with them. That's when I first got them. So and those ones are now several years old. But yeah, knee pads for a lot of different things, for roadside assistance, for certain repair things within the house. If there was something bad happen and there's a bunch of rubble, you don't want to be getting glass and get your knees cut. It makes things a lot more difficult. So anyway, that's my my show and tell item for today, the KP Industries knee pad, which have a hinge in it that you can actually move it like your leg. So
I just imagine you at SHOT Show running around with knee pads like
Yep.
a kid when they get new shoes. When it's like, hey, go test it out, and they go run around the store to like, because they go so fast. I just imagine you at SHOT Show with knee pads on, running
Yeah.
around with the articulated hinge, being like, look, everyone, my knees work, my knees work.
Yeah, so at SHOT Show, everyone's usually into like the firearms and the coolest knives and all those kind of things, and I'm looking for knee pads and stuff
Yes.
like that.
So we had a question. Pony Girl wanted to know if they're padded.
Yes, they are. So it's hard on the outside, soft on the inside. So there's a pad here. The top part of it has no padding. If you could see that, yeah, I think you can see in the camera. But the part that counts, that's on your knee, is padded. It's a shape for in the kind of the knee form as well. This top one just makes it so you're a lot more mobile than you are in other knee pads. That I have some other brands, and I should probably do like a knee pad comparison video at some point. But yeah, this is just made of a plastic on the top, and then you have the foam on the main part. So
we're gonna have to create a separate playlist on your channel, Tup, with your prepper bulge video and your knee pad comparison video.
yeah,
And like this whole thing is going like, we know that your channel is evolving. It's been around 11 seasons. We got to come up with something new. I think
yeah.
we may be going in a different direction.
Yeah, I get sometimes get teased about this, but I don't care anymore. So
yeah, exactly. Knee pads for everyone.
Yep.
Do you keep for your knee pads in your bug out bag and stuff?
Yeah.
Do you actually keep them inside the bug out bag, or
No.
do you hang them on the side?
No, on the outside of it. Yeah, because I actually have a whole outfit, like kind of like most people have like a suit or maybe a tux that they have ready to go when they have to go out somewhere. Like I treat my bug out clothes in the same way, where those are all, if time permits, I would rather be like, I wouldn't want to be in this outfit in a evacuation thing. If I had time, I'd want to be in more of my bug out outfit, I guess. So and then the knee pads are basically on top of the kit.
Now, when you have your outfit laid out, which I'm imagining in my head, Do you have a fire pole like the Bat Cave where you
That
just
would be
go,
pretty.
where
That'd be
every family member goes down and there is not their outfit? And I'm just imagining those hazmat suits that you took the photo of on Instagram, and everyone just slides into their like 3 layers, knee pads, hazmat suit, and out the door.
yeah, that'd be pretty epic. No, I don't have that set up yet, but maybe in 2023 we'll get that going. So
All right. I feel like that's something we should look into. I feel like at a bare minimum, not only would that be a fantastic TikTok, and make for a great Christmas card, but I feel like that would be just super efficient.
yeah.
To just have the different polls. We need to get you also the like Shakespeare head that they had in like the Batman, the 1966 Batman,
Oh
where you
yeah,
would open it
yeah,
up and push the button and that would do the thing.
yeah.
I feel
Totally.
like
That,
we
that
can make
sounds
that happen
awesome.
for you.
Yeah, I think we could do that. Well,
The Tub Cave.
what did you bring for show and tell?
What did I bring for show and tell? Well, again, thank you for asking. So I brought my kid's emergency kit.
Okay.
So we talked about this on the last stream that I was working on, kind of redoing these and refilling them as the kids were going back to school. We found out actually today that they will be going home for distance learning for like 2 weeks, while I think a bunch of the teachers and staff members are out and ill, so they don't have enough teachers and staff to actually teach the kids, so they're going remote. So I worked on this project for a grand total of 4 days for them to have them, and then we'll see if they come back. But like I said in the last stream, so the kids emergency kit, the Maxpedition pouch, it's the beefy pouch. That's the one I upgraded. I tried a couple of different smaller sizes, and this is a really good size to go in their backpacks. It's got the handle on the top, so it's really easy for them to kind of slide in and out of the big their big pockets. The double zipper, the front actually also has a pocket as well, and depending on where they're going, that's where we'll put their cell phones. So they have
Cool.
emergency phones, and it'll slide in there. It also helps us if they've set them on a counter or something to tell whose is whose, because we can tell from the phone case whose is whose. Inside, this is kind of the way that it lays out.
Nice.
So they've got a Sharpie with strict instructions not to actually write on anything that they shouldn't be writing on. We've got an extra charging cable, and then I've got a little kind of single-use phone charger for them. So if they needed to charge a phone for at least one charge, they would have it. In this little pocket here, I've got the kind of disposable one-time
Yep.
use ponchos. And then I have the Soul Survive Outdoors Longer blanket. And this is the extra, I think this is the extra large. They have like a small and an extra large. This actually may be just the small because it was for the kids. I have the extra large in all of my kits because if it's me and a kid or something, I want more space. But these are a little more durable than the standard Mylar blankets that you kind of get from everywhere. These are their gloves. So I've got these, went to Coastal Farm and Ranch and ordered these. You can also get them on Amazon, but they're little kid leather gloves for gardening. They're not
Cool.
as super protective like as the gloves that I would maybe have in my kits, but they don't really make those kid sizes. This is the closest I could find that was like a leather durable, as opposed to just kind of a fabric keeping their hands warm. So in case there's an emergency, they would have these. And then I got the same size and put them in their nightstands and put them in bug out bags and everything else. When I find something that they like, I tend to buy like 5 of them and just put them all over the place.
Yeah, totally.
Protein bar. So Builder bars are what they picked. We did a whole protein bar taste test, which was super fun. We went to Whole Foods or Fred Meyer and just let them pick everything that looked interesting from the single boxes, and then went back and bought 5 or 6 and put some in the car and stuff. So these are the
they like the builder blocks. The builder one's the best.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Well, and part of that was I think there's a lot of different protein granola bar things. I wanted something that would have a bunch of protein, and the Builder bars have like 20 grams of protein. So they're essentially like a meal replacement type bar, but they pack like a granola bar. So I've eaten these like for breakfast and stuff for years, but they got to pick which flavor. Cliff bars are a good option. Lara bars, depending on your food sensitivities and that sort of stuff. Um, headlamp. So everybody's got to have a headlamp.
You got all that fit in there. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's very expandable. I like that very
Yeah.
much. So this is a headlamp. I keep an extra set of batteries in here for them too. So if the batteries run out, they've got extras. There's a little glow stick. Because no emergency kit is safe without
Yeah,
a
you gotta
glow
have a glow
stick and a
stick.
Mylar
Yeah.
blanket. Like it's
Yep.
not a real thing. Little plastic whistle for that. And then I have in this other pocket over here, which I have to get to, just a variety of Band-Aids, some kind of sanitizing wipes or wet wipes,
Cool.
and like $5 in cash. So if they needed to, if they were walking around, and they needed to buy a bottle of water or something, they would have extra for that. So
And it's not the end of the world that they lose it either. So, yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's not if somebody takes the kit or if they lose it or whatever, it's not hundreds and thousands of dollars or anything like that. But if they're, at a place and we're trying to walk to get to them or something, if it's more of a localized emergency, or maybe they're just at a friend's house and, they walk to the store and somebody wanted something and they needed a little extra cash, they would have a few dollars in there. And I did it in the small denomination. So it was easy for them to use and not have to worry about making change and that sort of stuff.
Now I saw that there was a comment from, I think, from Doc Michael with regard to the tracking tag if the kids go missing. Like on the phones, do you use any kind of family tracking app like Life 360 or anything like that?
Yeah, so right now we use because there's we moved to iPhones in this last move. They originally had Androids when we first got them, and we had
Mhm.
those for 3 years or something. And so just recently in the last few months, we switched to iPhones and actually got them like we actually attached them to our family plan. So
Okay.
now we have Find My iPhone, and we can track them on that. Usually, like, as far as like a tracking tag, like an air tag or something like that, a lot of those you really have to be very close to them
Yep.
in order to pick it up, or they have to be close to somebody who is got that app. So the Find My iPhone is probably the best bet, and that's what we've kind of started to use with them. Usually they're with us, so we check and make sure they're still at school. I'm sure when they're older and driving and things, then we
Yeah.
might use that a little bit more. But it's also nice because with Find My iPhone, you can force ring the phone. So if they have it off, we tell them to keep them silenced whenever they're out and about, just because we don't want anyone to know that they have a phone if they don't need to.
Yep.
But if we need to get their attention, we can do the Find My iPhone sound on their phone, and it'll force Bing regardless of whether or not it's silent or not.
Cool.
So so I really really like that. Let's see. Would those gloves be rotated per client season? That's a really good question. So these gloves they're actually relatively warm. They're not like super insulated or anything like that. But they would probably provide a little bit of warmth if it needed to be. Usually if it's super cold or we know it's going to be super cold, we'll put, snow gloves or something in their bags, for the day, or we'll put them in their jackets. I like to put gloves and hats in pockets of jackets so that if you've got a jacket, you've got all the things that you need. So
Mhm.
that's probably what we would use. These are more from just making sure if there's debris or anything that they don't cut their hands or grab something and puncture themselves or anything like that.
Yeah, I think like for when it comes to gloves, like in emergency kits or in a kid's kit, I think going like the most all-purpose one, and I think it's mainly just to protect your hands more than having to have seasonally change your kit for, oh, these are my summer gloves or these are my winter gloves. I think just having like your whatever one is the best all around that ultimately just provides the hand protection, it would be good for.
Yeah, and it's also, I think it's a good opportunity to bring kids into prepping when you're, general preparedness, emergency, situational awareness, things like that. When you can bring them in and have them, do the protein bar taste test, when you can have them, we went to the store and there were tons and tons of different kids clubs. And so, I picked out the 4 that they could pick from, and then they got to try them on in whichever color they wanted or whatever pattern they wanted or something like that, they got to kind of pick that. So they get to have a little bit of ownership in it. They get to have their thing that's easily identifiable, which is really, really nice. And it gets them kind of invested in the whole idea without making it scary. They're not going to be worrying about how many propane tanks we have or how much toilet paper we have or how much, rice we have or anything like that. But they can understand that, they have a protein bar in case of an emergency and why that's important.
Cool. I think it's great. I just wrote it down that I need to improve kids' emergency kits for school bags.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's.
I have a running notepad from all of our streams that just have various notes for things I need to do. So to-do list stuff. So
yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of. I think we should do like you do a video, I'll do a video, then we do each other doing the other kit. So I need to do like your nightstand after you release your nightstand video. I'll do a nightstand video. You do a kid's emergency kit, and then we're gonna do the reaction videos. The reacting to Tup's nightstand video and reacting to exposing Cascadia Dispatch kids emergency kits and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I like the max. I like the size that you have it in. I was kind of thinking some kind of lunchbox size originally, but I think you have it even smaller. Than you could fit a lot of stuff in those Max Edition. I forget what they're called, the fat packs or fat boys or
the beefy. They have really
beefy
interesting names.
They have they're insulting to bags. They're like body shaming of bags.
they're pouch shaming is what.
Yeah, they are pouch shaming. It's like the plus size pouch
plus size pouches,
beefy pouch and like.
Yeah, and it's funny too because it's like
dad bod pouch.
Yeah, it's like the slim and the EDC, and then it's the beefy and the chubby, and you're like, what? Why did this change? Like, just how about small, medium, and large? Like,
I don't know why they do that, but it's not just Maxpedition. It's all of them. They all are totally body shaming all of these various pouches and modules, and something needs to be done about this.
Yes, exactly. Let's get to the tweets, to the Twitters. We're canceling all of the brands.
Yeah.
All of the brands that we would like to sponsor us and be involved with and partner with, we're canceling them all. That's what's happening. Have you enjoyed your time as a prepper in the prepper community, Cliff? Because I think we are about to be canceled. That's what I think is happening.
It's been a good run.
Exactly. That's what we're gonna retitle this stream, the stream that we got canceled in.
So pouch shaming is not a crime. No, it isn't. Yeah, maybe we should be more pro free speech if they want to talk smack and pouch shame. I guess you're gonna have to. That's part of living in America. So.
Yeah, exactly, America. Yeah, pouch shamers all. That's what we can do.
Well, I know that on the title that we're kind of we were talking a little bit about like the most likely and least likely preps or events to talk about. I was kind of excited to hear what you had to say on that and what the folks in the chat room are going to say too.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people have been seeing on Netflix it's like Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, the Don't Look Up movie, where there's an asteroid that's going to come and destroy the planet. And Hank Green, who is a science guy on TikTok, put out a TikTok the other day saying that basically NASA has kind of identified all of the planet killer asteroids. And so we can all rejoice because we don't have to worry about a planet killer asteroid for the next hundreds of thousands of years or something like that. There might be a city killer asteroid, but there isn't something that's so big that it would just destroy the planet and kill us all. And that was exciting. And so I thought to myself, I was like, okay, so a lot of times people think about prepping and kind of the conspiracies and the outlandishness sometimes of where you can go with what you're prepping for. And some people are worried about asteroids, and okay, that's something we can check off the list. So now what is the next least likely, least likely thing that we would be prepping for? Be that EMPs, being that the Yellowstone, I think it's the Yellowstone super caldera volcano thing that would just wipe out the entire like Western United States if it went off. So that's what I was kind of thinking is, what are those things that are discussed in prepping? They're a little more kind of edge case, but now we don't have to worry about asteroids. So what should we worry about now that we shouldn't worry about?
Well, I'm still worried about asteroids, but I kind of feel that even if the powers that be knew that there was an asteroid, if it was like I don't know, Deep Impact or Armageddon or whatever, I don't think they'd tell us until like the very end. Like they'd want society to kind of run as normal. But Yeah, so I know that for most preppers, like EMPs are that's kind of the boogeyman of preppers, and we're all focused on EMP, myself included. I have some EMP protection stuff here, but
Hmm.
I think that's one of the Yellowstone. I don't know too many preppers that are really actively like focused on the super volcano event of Yellowstone, or even in Oregon. I know you have like the Three Sisters over there, and that's technically a super volcano too. So
Yeah.
if that were to go, Cascadia Dispatch would be in a world of hurt. But
Cascadia Dispatch would be,
be off
we
the
would be
map.
off the air for a while. That would
Yeah,
that would be a thing.
yeah.
Um,
There's all sorts of movies that make fun things to think about. Like one of my movies that I think a lot of people, the scientists hate, but I like thinking about is The Core. I think the core stopping would be least likely, but I don't know any preppers that are prepping for that. Zombies. Everyone's always talking about zombies, and I don't know. That's low on the priority for me for my prepping. So
yeah, yeah. The EMP, you've had some great videos on the EMP thing. So I have the Mission Darkness,
yeah,
Faraday bags and
yeah.
pouches and things. Do you have a Faraday
I,
bag with it
I
armed
have one,
reach?
but it's behind my gray backdrop there, so I don't want to like
Oh yeah.
mess that up. So
I love that that's a backdrop. I thought that was a wall. I
no,
thought you had just painted
that
your the
that was
room.
the goal. Yeah,
God,
so,
that's
no, it's just a
fantastic.
backdrop, but I wanted in honor of the gray man. I wanted to have a gray background, so that's what I did. So,
That is fantastic. I
yeah,
love that so much. So yeah, so the EMP, I think for me, some of those the volcano-y things, especially for those of us who live on the West Coast and Northwest, where you're kind of ring of fire area,
yeah,
there's a lot of that if we're prepping for the earthquake, volcanoes can happen, sort of a thing. I think the civil unrest next level is something that is kind of, I feel like we started to see that needle push a little bit over the last couple of years, and it's kind of tamped back down again. We've kind of reserved to some sort of normalcy, and a lot of people were all in arms about what was happening in Portland, and the media was everything's on fire and Portland's on fire, and we would go down to Portland and we'd be like, yeah, there's a really bad block here or there, but like it's not on fire. Like it's not great, but it's not on fire. And I think that if things were to continue or something, it didn't take a whole lot for everyone to kind of get ramped up. And so I think if that was a thing, I don't feel like it's likely to happen, but if it does happen, I think that could be a big thing. So that's something that I've kind of spent a little more time thinking about, is how we would kind of get out, where we would go, that sort of thing. If especially Portland, Seattle, those kind of Northwest hubs that tend to be a little more activist in nature, started to get a little hotter, and things boiled over.
yeah. I think like in 2020, like summertime 2020 was where I was mainly focusing on those type of emergency events, but it never really impacted me directly. But uh, it was yeah stuff that was like happening with the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone and the Chaz and all these places. But just kind of stay far away from those kind of things. And
Yeah.
but yeah,
So cross canyons readiness. uh, I'm sure that we can find somebody who can do a movie voice to make that some sort of a trailer or something, that Cascadia would be dispatched. That is very true. It's
I like
sad,
that.
but it's a fantastic line. So looking through the chat, there's a lot of people who are talking about there's bird flu, which apparently is in the UK now. I remember avian flu seems to show up every couple of years, for the last like 10 years or so, it seems like. We had swine flu, and it's like they alternate. Swine flu and avian flu are like the used to be the bad thing, and then now it's like that's like not a thing. I saw killer bees here somewhere. Yeah,
Yep.
Catherine was talking about killer bees.
I know. I hear that killer bees like they make a really good honey though is the thing. So they're
Really?
yeah they're really mean these guys, but you gotta. But I know that there's a lot of killer bee honey and their honey is super really good. So it might not be Manuka honey from like Australia, but I think that the killer bees are kind of here to stay. They've integrated with other bee populations and they make some tasty honey. So
Now, when we're
just
talking about,
just don't mess with them.
yeah, don't try to take their honey. That's a bad thing. I don't
Yeah,
know how these people got the honey in the first place.
yeah.
But are
I
you
think I'm
talking about?
I think I'm less. I used to be anti killer bees. I was really worried about killer bees, but I think just in general, like hornets and wasps, they're jerks. They just are. Uh, I don't know what their purpose is really. So like they're
Yeah,
just super mean.
yeah. If anybody knows what a yellow jacket's purpose is,
Yeah,
that
what's a
would be
yellow
great.
jacket for? It's I don't know.
We have I put a perimeter of death, I call it, around our house. Like we have chickens and worms, and we're all about friendly things and everything. But there should be a boundary, and yellow jackets are not invited to our house. Also spiders do wonderful things. Spiders
Yeah,
can do wonderful things outside of our house. Spiders are not invited inside of our house. But I have traps that we put up all around the perimeter because we back up to a wetlands and there are so many yellow jackets,
yeah.
to just try to catch them all. And there's they just get in your barbecue and they just want to eat your meat and they want
They're
to
just
like sting
they're just
you
mean. They sting
and
you. Like if you
bite.
if you walk by them, hey, that's there's tough. Let's go. Let's get them. Like
Yeah,
they're
we
bullies. That's bullying. That's a
we have our like our little mason bees and our
yeah. We
leaf
have mason
cutter
bees
bees
too.
for our gut. Like they're happy bees. They don't mind. They just do their thing. And then we got yellow jackets all in everybody's business, and it's just a
Yeah, I
problem.
see that crossed cannons readiness is worried about the the murder hornets. Yeah, those ones are nasty too. I haven't seen one of those. Hopefully they don't come in my area. But
Yeah, they're in Washington. That's where they found him originally. I was
yeah,
like, get ready, buddy. Get a shield or something because they're gigantic.
yeah, I think I'd freak out if I saw one of those. So
There was a video that they had of actually how they remove them because they're an invasive species and harmful and all these things. And they like wrap the tree, like they add little transceivers to the
yeah,
bees that they catch and let them fly back. And then they wrap the tree in like bubble wrap or something, and then take it to a lab, and then they like remove all the bees from it.
okay. There's a lot of great comments coming in. Yellow jackets are for continuous stinging without dying. Yes, they do. They
Yeah.
yellow.
Hmm.
Yeah, these. But that's I didn't know this one. Yellow jackets and wasps are for carrion eating, so they clean up dead animals. I thought that was like the maggots and everything clean those up. But I saw a
Yeah.
cool video like on the murder hornets where like in I forget where they come from, like Japan or something, where the honeybees over there learn to swarm them and basically they cook them in their own body temperature. I don't know if you saw that
Yeah.
video before.
They turn them into little Pop Tarts.
Yeah, but, and then I saw over here, like now that these hornets are over in the US, I saw like these praying mantis. Those guys are nasty too, but they don't mess with me, so I don't mess with them. But they just like if they get that murder hornet, they just eat it alive, like start eating its head. And it's
Oh,
really the praying mantis is those guys are no joke. So
you have a slightly different for you page, I think, on TikTok than I have.
I I get all these maybe they're saying too much, but I get all of these ones for like dermatologist ones where it's like they're popping blackheads and stuff like that. And I guess they must know that I like watching them. So but yeah, I get my for
The
you page
things the
is
things
weird.
that we're learning about Tup's secret life behind the scenes. We all
Yeah.
just thought he was sitting at home making modules, just
Yeah,
all the
no, it's
modules all the time.
yeah, no. I'm watching murder
He's
hornets
watching.
and blackhead removal. So
Yeah, this is the other side of National Geographic that
yeah.
Disney Plus does not have, I think, is the thing.
Yeah, so I
Um,
think what we need to do as a society is we need to start uh do something with these praying mantises to take care of the murder hornet problem over here, and because I think they could do it. So
Yeah, I imagine just like the ads that they have for the games on your phone where you have like the armies and they
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, just
we're
like that.
just
Yeah,
gonna it's a praying mantis army and we're just gonna set them up and point them in the direction of the murder hornets. And maybe we'll attach little flags or something to their little stick bodies or something. And
and
they can just go and take out the hornets.
and when thinking about it, I don't think I have any preps for like bee swarms and stuff like that. I don't have a bee. I don't know if you do, but or like what are those outfits called?
Like a beekeeper suit?
A beekeeper suit. Maybe I need one of those. I don't know because if there were murder hornets or if there's a bunch of yellow jackets and stuff,
I wonder if your
I wouldn't
hazmat
have the right. The hazmat suit would be the best thing that I would have, but maybe I need to get a bird. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Some
I
kind
mean,
of
I guess
beekeeper outfit.
you'd have to think like inside, like how they would get in. You know, if they would come in through a duct or something in order to get in your house, so that like your house wouldn't be
Yeah.
the safe place. I
And
guess
we
they
have
could come in
and we
through
have
that.
like a quarterly service, like pest control service, and they come and they try to get the spiders out, try to get the rats out, and everything else that tries to get in, and when bees too. So
Yeah, the getting rid of the nests and everything is a whole thing. Like I've had a couple of times in my life where I've been just out, at school or something, and there would be a swarm of honeybees or something that would like go across the playground, and that's a freaky thing. But they were like honeybees and bumblebees. They were not yellow jackets, and I think that would be a whole different proposition.
well, maybe in a future live stream, I'm just going to be my beekeeper outfit, and then you'll know that hey, Tup got that taken care of. That
Yeah,
prep.
if you show up with the white hat and everything, we're
I'm
like,
gonna
all
write it
right,
down. I'm gonna write it down. So
yeah, the beekeeper suit.
bee preps, like, or I don't know how to. What would be a good catchy thumbnail for that? But
I mean, it would be a murder hornet, probably.
murder hornet prep
Murder
preparedness.
hornet and a praying mantis with your hat on the praying mantis. That's
I
the
love it.
thumbnail.
I'm gonna put murder hornet preparedness as a reminder here.
Yeah. I wonder too, like murder hornets and yellow jackets are a thing, but bugs, there are lots of bugs and animals and things. I'm wondering if there's just a general like, you know, uh other species that we share the planet with sort of prep for that sort of thing, or if bees really is specific enough, or do you want something for like
Yeah, I think well, I think if it's good enough for bees, like maybe it's good for locusts and other things.
yeah,
Spiders. I don't know.
cicadas, honey
Yeah,
badgers, all of
yeah.
the things,
Yeah,
just
we like watching some of those, like where someone makes their dream house and they put it on this, they buy some property, and then it turns out to be over the state's like spider breeding area, and like spiders just infest the house, and or we saw with garter snakes as well too. So
um
I saw Val Mack had a cool question there, as far as like kind of like no one talks about what to do with toddlers and volcano fire ash or hazardous fumes. Yeah, there's
yeah.
not a lot of videos on that, Val Mack. I agree.
Yeah, and I think it was kind of I decided, since we were going into question time, that we would turn Val's statement into a question
Oh, okay.
about how we might want to handle that sort of a thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing a bunch of other cool things about other comments too. Volcano
Like
ash
the
and has.
like the mosquito net hat.
Well, no, someone said that the murder hornets have very long stingers, so you have to have thicker suits than typical bee suits. That's from Pony Girl, and I didn't know. So now I need to get for my murder hornet preparedness. I need to get a thicker beekeeper outfit.
Kevlar hazmat suit.
There we
Have you
go.
considered just like a mech, like an Iron Man suit of some sort?
No, I haven't. Again,
Maybe
this is a gap in my preparedness that I haven't thought about. So
maybe like the Tesla spacesuits, like the SpaceX
yeah,
spacesuit sort of a thing, or
yeah,
it's just completely self-contained environment.
yeah, maybe.
Um,
Maybe it could be something. It doesn't have to be for murder hornet preparedness, but it could be dual purpose in some way. So then you can kind of justify the cost a little bit better.
yeah, exactly.
But going back to Val Max, sorry.
Yeah,
Let's see what the toddlers, volcanic fire ash and hazardous. For toddlers, I was trying to work on a video of it. Where do I have this thing somewhere? I can't find it right now. But Mira Safety has a good. It's like it's hard to put a gas mask on a toddler. They just don't want to. They don't want to wear gas masks. But they have some kind of like a bubble. It's almost like a bubble helmet that goes on that you could actually. They have full visibility. It's all plastic, and I think that would work pretty well for kind of volcano and fire ash and hazardous fumes and stuff. And then you could use the same kind of filters that you would with your normal mirror safety NATO filters. So it's a little on the pricey side. It's like $500, I think. I was that would be for Val Mac. I would think that something like that would probably be what you might want to go with for a toddler.
yeah. I think it also would depend too a little bit on, obviously, if you want the Mira safety helmet, bubble helmet thing, you're going to need to plan ahead and have that. I think if there's a little bit of warning, but
Yeah,
not enough for shipping, because everything now takes longer with shipping. Then things like plastic, over vents and over ducting into your house and some of that sort of stuff, to at least try to layer in like a safer room. So,
Yeah.
you know, if you have interior rooms or something where you can, you know, put stuff on the outside of your house and then you can put stuff on the inside of your house and create some layers, you're probably not going to get everything perfect. Because depending on the size of the particles and things, those might still get
Yeah.
in cracks and walls and that sort of stuff. But it also depends too, I think, on what you have for your own preparedness for that. You know,
Hmm.
if you have a gas mask for that, then you might want one for your toddler. If you are, I think a lot of us were using, you know, N95s and respirators for that sort of an eventuality, especially like for volcanic ash or something like that. You know, that's probably the layer that you would want to go as well.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Um,
Man, all sorts of cool comments coming in right now, so which
yeah,
is awesome.
exactly. Um,
I
Similar
actually,
to an underwater suit for a toddler.
yes, exactly. This is more of it's a softer one, so it wouldn't be for like an underwater one. But
Yeah, it's not. So you got to put the bump cap underneath the
yep,
gas mask bubble thing in
yeah,
order to make sure that if, you know, any volcanic rock also comes through, that
yep.
that would not cause
The
any problem.
bump caps are awesome. I'm super
Yes.
pro bump caps.
Um, let's
Well,
see. Cross Canyons wanted to know about inflation.
yeah.
So that came out this morning.
Uh,
You know, it's not good.
yeah, no, it's a yeah. Thoughts on it? Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I think I try every morning to kind of when I do my workout, as I try to do my be a fitter prepper person or whatever.
mhm,
So I usually will turn on like CNBC in the morning to just get the financial news and what's going on. And there's a lot of discussion in that when the inflation came out about specifically what categories of goods were inflating, and how that was changing. So it doesn't look like it's going to be good, you know, for the next at least few months and all of this. But it's interesting to see month over month and quarter over quarter what goods actually are inflating a lot and driving that number, and which things are not. Beef, for example, was one of the things that's really been driving overall inflation number for the last several months, and this month that it was actually down. And it was, I think, a negative number. So the prices actually started to come down a little bit.
yeah.
So that's a thing to always kind of consider with those numbers.
You know, I kind of treat it the same that I do like Bitcoin and stuff, where I don't really I try not to deviate like what I'm planning on doing from a week to week type basis. You kind of looking from the long term trends of it. So, but yeah, it's definitely concerning. That's for sure. But
Yeah, all in on Doge, all
yeah,
in on Sheeb to the moon. Um, all right. Well, I think. Oh, what about pets? Pony Girl, we're wrapping up here, and you're just coming in with the great,
man,
fantastic
but
things. Jeez,
someone says pets are a liability. Yeah, they are a liability in a way, but
you
they're
know
also
they
part of the family for a lot of people. So
exactly. And hey, if things go really, really bad, they might be delicious. You
yeah.
don't know. It
Well,
depends on
I
what kind
think
of pet you have.
yeah, I think if it has a name, then it's part of you can't eat what has a name. So, like if you have meat chickens, they typically don't have names. So those are okay. But your dogs and cats are part of the family. Now, I think the fish are on
Yeah,
their own in a real emergency, but that's just
yeah.
me. But
The milk chickens, though, you want to keep those
yeah,
around
keep the milk
for a
chickens. They're
while. The milk
valuable. Yeah,
chickens are very important. Very important.
yeah. I think there should be
Um,
more prep video, more like bug out bags for pets type videos and like evacuating a cat and all those kind of things. I think that'd be a cool maybe and add it to the list. So
yeah,
I've thought about it in the past. I have we have some stuff, but I just never again assembling a video is what takes a long time. So
yeah. I did one about 2 years ago because we had a cat, Dr. Millie von Kitty Pants Esquire. Yes, she was a kitty doctor and a lawyer. We have very high expectations for our children,
yeah.
including the furry ones. Um, and you know, in case there was an earthquake or something, I was like, what are we going to do? And so having the carrier, having a play yard to contain her so that she could um, have some space but not just be wild. I
Hmm.
think it also depends if you have like an outdoor, like in the cat situation. Do you have an outdoor cat or do you have an indoor cat? Outdoor cat is going to be fine out and about. Our cat was an indoor cat. She would have had no clue what was going on unless she was on the deck. Like she would have been lost. So we wanted to make sure we could contain that, making sure we had extra food. water, some sort of cup thing, a leash and a harness, depending on if you have a dog or a cat. They make cat harnesses so you can walk your cat. So we had one of those that we kind of kept in her bag. And so her little carrier became her go bag. Sadly, we lost Dr. Millie Von Kitty Pants
Oh
Esquire,
no.
but we are on the waiting list to get a replacement for Dr. Millie Von Kitty Pants Esquire. So we'll get a new one. And I'm sure when we get the new furry member of the family, we'll do another kind of update of emergency stuff for pets.
Yeah, I think for when it's if you were to stack rank pets for preppers, I think dogs are less of a liability than cats would be, because cats are kind of
Yeah.
they kind of run their own
Yeah.
they kind of run the show a little bit. Dogs could offer some protection for you. They could be surveillance and alert people. They could go off leash. Or my cat can I can't count on my cat following me for bugging out or anything like that. And then everything else is they're in the next tier. So birds, I don't know if I want to bug out with a bird or with fish or anything like that, or turtles.
Yeah, I think it depends, like, too, on, like a fish, they're a great member of the family, but like if you're leaving, are you putting a fish in like a container?
They're hard enough to take care of, like at your house, let alone in an emergency. So
yeah, and life expectancy wise, a fish can last for a couple of months. Some of them last for longer, and some of them are way expensive and things. But I think a lot of the dogs, cat type pets are the ones that there's the emotional attachment, maybe more so than some of the others. And things like a lizard or something, if you need to have a heating pad and you need to have all that stuff, like how are you going to
yeah, that's not going to
create
happen.
that while you're on the move, escaping the murder hornets and the praying mantis war that is happening across the Columbia River, apparently?
Yeah, and I think like in a lot of like disaster movies, there's usually a dog there. Oftentimes a dog might be included in there, like I Am Legend or Deep Impact, but
Mhm.
you don't often see cats involved in
No.
disaster movies, so, except for maybe I don't know what's the Men in Black isn't really a disaster movie, but you very rarely see cats as a uh, for survival.
I will say, Captain Marvel had a pretty incredible cat.
See, I didn't see Captain Marvel.
Granted, it was a flurkin, and it was some sort of a middle dimensional beast that had tentacles that came out of its mouth. But it was a fantastic cat named Goose.
Okay.
So if you could get a cat like that, like that'd be fantastic in an emergency or disaster. But I don't know that we'll be getting those anytime soon. So maybe just stick with dogs and call it a day.
Someone named their cow Fajita. That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's like the people that talk about that have pigs and refer to them as bacon seeds.
Yeah,
that's a thing I've seen a lot. I'm like, okay, it's the TikTok thing of the like, it's a good joke, it's a little too
yeah, it's a good joke, it's a great joke even, but I need you to stop anyway. I watched that video. Well, I don't know. On that note, it seems like where do we go from there? From
exactly
bacon seeds.
Yeah, I feel like my voice is going, as you can hear, the lingering cough from being sick from, I don't know, a month or two ago.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go do a cough drop and try to not hack up a lung or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm going to a Boy Scouts event in about 30 minutes. So
very fun.
So
we should have a like a Boy Scout, Girl Scout, scouting.
Well, they call it Scouts
team.
Now.
Yeah, Scout.
BSA Scouts, which is Boy Scouts, but it's still
well, there's Boy Scouts. There's Boy Scouts of America that now also allows girls to be scouts, and then there's Girl Scouts, which is the whole separate thing. But we should have like a kids in scouts, and kids that aren't in scouts. Like what can parents that don't have that as an option, what can they do, sort of a thing?
Yeah,
so maybe we'll do like a whole kid theme stream one of these nights, one of these weeks.
Well, scouting it's a good way. I mean, their whole motto is "Be prepared," so it's like the schooling for future preppers. So I think it's a good gateway into preparedness for the kids. So
yeah, exactly. So anyway, on that note, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you all for joining us. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button on Tup's stream.
I'm gonna do.
my stream.
Sorry to interrupt, but I know Alex says, "Hey fellas, please give a quick my daughter Gally, I think, a shout out. She is Gally. Thank you for watching this live stream, and we hope that you like it and press the thumbs up. And yeah, thank you for your support, Gally.
Yeah, go get your dad to get you some gloves for your emergency kit or whatever.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. And she's apparently on fire.
Yeah,
she's
something happened.
watching. Yeah, exactly. So you know what? Get one of Tup's fire extinguishers. That would be a good thing. I actually went to Costco last weekend and got like 5 new fire extinguishers because you had reminded me of that, and they were on sale. So if you haven't got your fire extinguisher, go to Costco this week. They're on sale. Go get those. And hit subscribe, hit the like buttons, do all the things. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week, next Wednesday, 5:30, same time, same place. And with that, we will see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.
See you later.